You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Larry here from Drakewing Gaming. It's something about sort of the gaming drag today. I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Promises to Keep, Rofi's Path. So y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Alrighty. It was just really nice. That's the first time I've dreamed of that in years. That does sound nice. What did we eat? I spent some time recounting the dream for him. His little giggles and commentary complement my storytelling. Wait, my parents were already on campus? Yeah, it was crazy. I don't think I ever cut it that close back then. There were certainly some close calls, though, all for just a few after-school treats. Tuesdays are my favorite day of the week because of them. The dog sits up, finished with his food. I'd love to just go back in time, just to sit around with you and review snacks like we used to. That does sound like fun. Honestly, any distraction would be good at this point. Cabin fever? A little, yeah. I think this morning kind of exacerbated it a bit. The dog nods thoughtfully. Then his ears perk as he remembers something. Wait, Theo has a ton of snacks! He jumps out of his chair, making his way to a cupboard. I can practically see the gears in his head turning as he browses the selection. He turns around and sticks his tongue out at me. Can I pick some this time? You always got to choose when we were younger. Sure, but it won't be much of a surprise, will it? It's just Theo's snack collection. You're right. I know. Give me a few minutes to plan. I smile, watching the dog whip out his phone, typing furiously. Cover your eyes, okay? And no peeking. I sigh and cover my eyes with my paws. I hear some galloping past me up and down the stairs, accompanied by the sound of bags and plastic wrappers. The microwave door opens and gets shut. At one point I hear a second set of steps come from a basement, but they don't enter the kitchen. Okay, ready! Open your eyes! As I uncover my face, I'm greeted with an impressive spread of chips, sodas, and other small bites sitting on the dining table. How'd you find this much food in that cabinet? No questions while the magician does his work, please. He hops over to the microwave and presses the button on the microwave before finally joining me at the table. So, got any afternoon plans? You know, y'all are in kind of a survival situation. You may, maybe not want to eat all of your food. I mean, even snacks and such can come in handy later. I look up at the ceiling, pretending to think for a moment, just to tease him. I can see a raised eyebrow in my peripheral vision. Then I smile. Nope, looks like my afternoon is all clear. The dog scoffs, ruffling his paw through my hair. Then I start to hear popping from the microwave. Popcorn? What, we're watching a movie? I see the dog's eyes light up as I seemingly guess correctly. Oh, of course, the projector downstairs. I figured we could both use a relaxing afternoon. What better way to wind down than a movie date? A date, huh? I didn't even get a proper ask. Rofi giggles and hops out of his seat. He kneels down, then takes my paw in his. Fine, fine. Leo would like to go on a date. Leo, would you like to go on a date with me? He shoots the most potent set of puppy dog eyes yet at me. I can't keep him kneeling for too long, so I give it the facade quickly. Of course. He hops up energetically, pulling me up with him. My chair creaks as I get up, and the sound almost echoes around the kitchen. I'm surprised at how quiet the house is, especially given all that happened this morning. All I can hear is the low humming of the microwave. Wait! Rofi! The microwave! Rofi's ears perk up. Ah, dang! He whips around and steps quickly towards the microwave, stopping it before any more damage is done. As he opens the door, the smell of burnt popcorn begins to waft into the kitchen. He grabs the bag, shakes it a little, and tears it open gently. He reels back a little as a puff of smoke hits him in the face. Ah! He shakes his head, then gives me a sheepish look. So, that's the only bag of popcorn I could find. Hey, that's alright. I'm sure it's still edible. I reach a paw into the bag and pop a piece into my mouth. Wow, that's burnt. Yeah, it's not that bad. That cheers Rofi up a little. Yay! He grabs as many snacks as he can in his arms, then nods towards the basement. Your movie date awaits. The basement looks mostly the same as last night. At the center of the room, I see two chairs set up around a table in front of the projector. Rofi throws his assortment of snacks onto the table, then makes a grandiose gesture to one of the chairs, prompting me to take my seat. He hops behind us for a moment, returning with a few movie reels. Okay, so I've narrowed the options down to these. I don't really know what they're about, but they're all comedy romance type movies. You can pick. I pick through the various titles and finally decide on a silly-looking teen comedy. I hand a reel to Rofi, and with a soft smile, he goes to set it up on the projector. At least he tries to. You sure you know how to work that thing? He grunts a little, clearly struggling. He looks at me and grits his teeth into a grin. Of course! I got it! How hard could this be anyway? This thing is Okay, one second, y'all. I'm gonna mute Discord. There we go. Should be distraction-free now. Alrighty. How hard could this be anyway? This thing is technologically ancient. I open up a bag of chips, carefully getting up and waving one in front of his mouth, making sure to keep weight on my good foot paw. His tail swishes happily and he leans forward to take it out of my paw. Gotta make sure the theater staff is well fed. Right! And said staff just figured it out, I think. With a flip of a switch, the projector whirs to life, and the movie starts to play on the screen across the room. I sit back down, but Rofi springs up to switch the lights off. Hurry! It's starting! The room goes dark, minus the screen, and he quickly joins me across the table. Too bad there aren't any previews. We won't get to analyze all these snacks properly. We can do it during... The movie starts. As the camera zooms in on the main character, Rofi reaches across the table to hand me a drink. I see him holding a similar-looking can, just a different flavor. He pops his can open and raises it in a toast fashion to me. I imitate him and can't help but chuckle. We sip our drinks in unison. Mine tastes like apples. Wait, are apples gonna cause him to have a Vietnam flashback? Apples. Look over to his can and it's a light shade of pink. It couldn't be. Hey, what flavor is your drink? Rofi takes a look at the side. It says cotton candy. I don't know where Thea found this flavor, but it seems pretty unique. The blood freezes in my veins, just like my dream. The smell of new spring grass. Do you want a sip, Leo? Synthetic apple flavor. Leo? The sense of time stood still. Rofi stands upright and quickly crosses over to me. Broken mirrors. He kneels in front of me, staring deep into my faraway eyes. Bloody paw prints and freshly fallen snow. Hey, Leo, it'll be a surprise. It'll be okay, I promise. His paw envelops my own, and suddenly I'm anchored. Here. Now. Though my breath is still shaky, I calm down a little at his touch. Yeah, okay, I'll be okay. He smiles softly at me, though I can still see the worry in his eyes. Where did you go just now? Back to the dream? I nod. I'm sorry. Rofi interrupts me with a playful swat on the knee. Hey, no apologizing aloud. His voice softens even further. Look, is all this too much? I want to make sure you enjoy this afternoon, whatever that means for you. Do you want to go back upstairs and decompress there? I look around at all the snacks and drinks, the screen and projector so carefully set up, Rofi's eyes looking up at me, concerned but warm. He put so much effort into making this impromptu date. He just wanted to make the afternoon fun for me, despite the circumstances. I can do this. I can stay here with him in this moment. No, it's okay. I'm good down here. Promise? Promise. There's the promise to keep! The repeated word brings cheer back to his eyes. Okay. Hey, I have another idea. Give me a second. He hops upstairs, but returns quickly, carrying a large beanbag. You want to share this instead of the chairs? They feel a little stiff to me, especially for a movie viewing. I give him a small smile. I'd like that, yeah. We rearrange the snacks on the floor and make ourselves comfortable in the beanbag. We sit normally at first, but quickly start sinking in and leaning against each other. Soon, Rofi's cheek is on my shoulder. The movie begins to pick up, as the protagonists find themselves entrenched in a dramatic love story. Well, dramatic for them, the story felt a bit silly to me. After a particularly bad scene, I hear Rofi snort out of amusement. My god, it's really not that deep, Chad. Apparently Rofi thought it was silly too. He turns to me, talking through the scene transition. Can you believe him? I think the entire school knows he likes Melissa. He should just confess. This movie would have been over like 30 minutes ago. Well, the movie producers have bills to pay. That's part of the show, right? I guess. I feel like he had so many opportunities to speed the plot along, though. He giggles and settles back against me, and we tune back into the drama. In a dreadfully cruel twist of fate, Chad finds out that Melissa picked a college on the other side of the country to attend. Oof. Tough luck, buddy. Like I said, if he had just told her he liked her like a few months ago, this whole mess could have been avoided. What, you mean Melissa would have picked a whole different college in a whole different state, all for some high school fling? Maybe. Love is a weird way of bringing people together, you know. The movie's protagonists graduate, and a pivotal moment finally presents itself. Chad confesses to his love. Great, what does he expect her to do now? She's already committed to a school. But he hasn't yet. Rofi watches intently, and sure enough, he predicts the ending of the movie. She ends up choosing a college that's near Melissa's and they get together. The whole thing ends with a musical number about as tuneless as the rest of the movie. We sit in silence as the credits roll. I look at Rofi and he looks back at me. So, great movie. Rofi cracks up. Are you kidding me? That was so bad! Where did Theo even get this? I can't help but laugh a little with him. Okay, yeah, it was pretty bad. I just didn't want to hurt your feelings. Rofi lets out a whiff of amusement, then hands me another bag of chips. I didn't make the movie. Why would that hurt my feelings? Honestly, the whole story was just so cliche and tropey. He grabs a handful of popcorn for himself and starts crunching. And not even in a clever way, either. They didn't even try to examine the tropes or present them in a new and different light. They just recycled plot lines from other movies and called it a day. He munches in silence for a few moments. This popcorn sucks. Okay, and how unrealistic was that ending? Moving across the country to date someone who barely knows you. His munching pauses, face scrunched in thought. Well, I guess they were admirers from afar. They probably spent more time together off-screen that we didn't see. Okay, but moving for someone like that isn't something you do lightly. I feel like marriage has to be on the table for that kind of thing to happen. I would have moved with you in middle school. Oh. Well, wait. Okay, I didn't mean I wanted to get married or anything. The dog starts tripping over his words, flustered at their implications. I just meant that I felt really attached to you, and obviously we were too young and stuff, but like, he stops to catch his breath, his eyes catching mine. His cheeks are glowing red. Before he can fill this precious space with words, I enfold him in my arms. Like, whoa! He goes quiet as I squeeze him gently. Thank you, Rofi. For today. For everything you've done to make the best of what happened this morning. He lets out a little squeak of protest. He never was good with praise. I really appreciate you. A lot. It was nothing, Leo. I'm really glad you're feeling a bit better. At that moment, we hear a knock on the wall. Rofi jolts out of my hug, startled, and I turn to the basement stairwell, making eye contact with Artemis. He's wearing his signature smirk. Hey, lovebirds. Your 2 hours are up. Artie, why'd you scare us like that? Sorry. It did look like you two were having a really good time here. Rofi whines, a mixture of embarrassment and protest. But I didn't come to just disturb your date. Theo needs a little help with the den repairs. The old coot has finally decided to listen to reason and let us help. Rofi's ears perk up and he sobers slightly. Oh, alright, we'll join you guys upstairs in a minute. Sounds good. Take your time. The bird disappears with a wave of his wings, leaving just Rofi and I. What did he mean your 2 hours are up? Did you make a reservation for us down here? I just wanted to make sure we had the basement for enough time. He checks his phone. Oh, wow, he was right. We've been down here for a while. Longer than 2 hours, actually. It was worth every second. I pat Rofi on the head, and he can't help but stick out his tongue at me. Okay, I can clean up the snacks if you want to reset the projector. The dog nods, and we quickly get the basement back to its original setup. With Rofi's arm wrapped tightly around mine, we make our way up, unsure of what we'll find. When we re-enter the living room, Rofi and I are greeted by a busy-looking Theo looking through a cardboard box, Artemis standing next to him and peering in. You really didn't have to bring all this, Artemis. Thank you. Hey, not a big deal. Just some extra layers to help seal it up. I can't believe I ran out of plywood. I usually have tons of this stuff laying around. Alright, y'all, I'm actually going to pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. I love you all, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!